So as you can see, we are back in our 1.14 Redstone world. Last time we were here, we experimented with some new zero-tick generators, and the time before that, we did some redstone and scaffolding cool stuff. But now, we have a new block here, and it is called the Lectern, and you probably saw other YouTubers discuss how this thing works. You can read books and stuff on the Lectern with other people. Yeah. But now, guess what? There's redstone uses, and this is a redstone channel, so we're going to be looking at those instead because it's much more interesting. So first one, you probably already saw it just there. It emits a redstone signal if you start flipping pages. So under here we have a dot of redstone, so if you can just barely see it, if you can see my mouse, I don't know if you can see it, but it will start pulsing that piece of redstone whenever we flip a page. So that's the first thing that you can do with it. It's not that useful in my opinion, aside from traps. Guess what? I put a TNT block under a lectern and this happened. There's an idea for a trap. But the second one, which is probably the cooler idea, is that you can take comparator outputs from a lectern and you can make some pretty cool stuff. So over here we got 3 different books. So this first one, this one, called Honk, only has 2 pages. So the first page, if we go over here, will emit a signal strength of 1. Now the first page in any book that has more than 1 page will always emit a signal strength of 1. But if we go to the second page, guess what? Signal strength of 15, and that is because once we reach the last page of any book, it will give a signal strength of 15. So that's how the 2-page book works. Now the second one, if I can find it, it's the one called Codes. This is a book with exactly 15 pages. So basically how this comparator detects the lectern is it will take the number of pages, which is in this case 15, it'll divide that number by 15, and the answer is basically how many pages you need to flip for the signal strength to increase by 1. So 15 divided by 15 is 1, so that means every page will increase the signal strength by 1. So we're on page 2, and it will give a signal strength of 2. Page 3 gives a signal strength of 3. Page 4, signal strength of 4, etc., etc. And the last one we got is, this one, the book with 30 pages. So like I said before, that will take the number of pages. In this case now it's 30 divided by 15, which is 2. So that means every 2 pages it will increase the signal strength by 1. But because we're starting on a number that is not a multiple of 2, we kind of had to start on number 2 so it makes sense. So just pretend this is the first page and it's page number 2 for some reason. So page number 2 activates the first one. Page 3 will not activate the next one, but page 4, guess what, it activates the next piece of redstone dust. If we go to page 5, it won't activate the third one. We flip it to page 6. Wow, we're on the third one now. And you can basically count by 2s with this thing and do whatever you want. Now, I had an idea of maybe making some kind of divider logic kind of thing. I don't know, if you can figure out, maybe you can manage to make like a weird calculator using the Lectern. That'd be really interesting, but I'm not smart enough to figure out how to make one. I'm going to put this lamp back because I can. But now, I'm going to show you the things that I made using the Lectern. So let's go to the first thing. So the first use for the Lectern is a trap, but this trap is a lot different than the TNT trap that I didn't really show, but yeah, it caused that hole. TNT trap's really easy. All you need to do is just place a TNT block under the Lectern, but that's only one-time use. Here's a trap you can use multiple times, and it's probably the smallest of its kind. So we are on just a random page. It happens to be page 11. If we flip back to page 10, oh no, we just fell through the floor. And if we flip over to page 11 again, oh no, we also went through the floor. So anytime you turn a page at all, you will fall through the floor because it doesn't want you to read the book because it's a bad book. So this is the redstone to it, and basically how it works, the comparator will take the output from this lectern through this block. It will activate this piece of redstone, and whichever page you're on will update this redstone's signal strength, which will update these observers, pulsing this piston twice, and then you fall through the floor. So bam, really easy trap. So now let's look at the next thing, which is probably the most useful out of all of these things that I made. So let's go look at it. So I probably wasn't the first to make this because it's really easy to make, but basically what this is, it's a selector panel using the lectern basically. So as you can see, the first torch is turned on, and that's because we are on the first page. But if we go on the second page turns on. We go on the third page turns on. Fourth page, fourth torch turns on. I think I called all these pages for some reason. But this is really simple to make. So this is literally it. You just need these two repeaters, these torches going like this, and this redstone going kind of in this pattern. And basically what this is, it is a redstone decoder. Basically it decodes signal strength, and this has been used with item frames. That's kind of its original, well, it was its original like use, but now we can use it for lecterns, and we can make these cool selector panels, and you can use them to like activate different contraptions if you want, and you can put like a button that like raises up some pistons so then some repeaters can go through the signal, or I don't know, some cool stuff like that. So selector panel with a lectern, really useful, and you can use it for a lot of things. So the next two things are very similar. They are both kind of like locks that you can make, like security lock things, and this first one is like an item frame selector panel lock kind of thing. So as you can see, we're on page 7. We push the button, nothing will happen to this lamp, but the moment we go to page 6 and we push this button, the lamp can turn on, and you can make this go into anything you want, an AND gate or a toggle or a door if you want to. But if we go to like, I don't know, page 3, it still won't work. Another random page, that's 7. There, page 9, nothing will happen. But if we're on page 6, the lamp turns on. It will only work on page 6, and the redstone is super easy peasy. You can build this just by looking at this little thing and pausing the video. So basically how it works is, if we just set this to page 1 for easier explanation-ness. So basically, this comparator is on subtract mode, and this one is not on subtract mode. So it will take this output from the, well, this amount from the chest, which equals a signal strength of 5. So basically, if you want to customize this thing has to give out a signal strength 1 less than what you want this thing to give out. So if you want this to be set to page 7, this has to give out a signal strength of 6. If you want this to set if open on like page 11, then it has to be a signal strength of 10. It has to be 1 less, and this is why. So if we go to 1, or actually let's go to 5, it'll take this, so 5 coming from here minus 5 will equal 0, so none of these will activate. But the moment we go on to 6, it will go 6 minus 1, well no, 6 minus 5 equals 1. It will activate this first piece of dust. This repeater, this torch will turn off, and this torch will turn on. So now when you push the button, the piston comes down and it powers the lamp or whatever you want it to activate. But if we go over to page 7, let's say, well, that was not over, that was under, okay, page 7, now it will activate the second one because 7 minus 5 equals 2, and it works for like other things like 8 minus 5 will equal 3, but we only have 2 redstone dust. So we'll activate the second redstone dust, activating this repeater. Now that repeater is now activating this this redstone. This torch turns off, and now it can't go through because there's no signal anymore. So now the last thing, which is probably the coolest thing, and I'm probably gonna make a standalone video on it just to make a tutorial because it's just really cool. Basically, it is a Lectern combination lock, and you can see it on like the edge of my screen, but let's go look at it because it's really cool. So this is my Lectern combination lock I made. So over here we got a book, a sign, a button, and a lamp, and they all do things, I promise. So we middle click this item frame, we get our codes book, we put the codes book on the Lectern, we hear a piston start up, and that means we are ready to use this thing. So the code is 112611. I put 2 11s because this thing is order sensitive and you can put repeats. So I'm going to show you me putting in the right password first and then the wrong one. So let's just type in the password. So basically how it works, you go to page 11, you push the button, and now you go to page 2, you push the button, And now we're gonna go to page 6, push the button, and finally page 11, and we push the button, lamp turns on, this magic door opens, so you can hook this up into whatever you want. I just hooked it up to this little hipster door, and the way we reset it is we go into here, we take the book, the door closes up, the lamp turns off, and now the code resets. The password lock, the combination lock resets. So basically, if I put in the same numbers but in a different order, it will not work, and I will show you that it won't work. So we'll go to page 11 again, and we'll push the button. It seems all good, but we're not good at all. So now instead of page 2, we're gonna go to page 6, push the button. So now we'll go to page 2, push the button, and finally page 11, and we push the button. But guess what? Nothing happens because we did not put them in the proper order. And to reset it, we just take the book and it will reset the combination lock. So guess what? This is the redstone, and I'll probably make a tutorial on this later because it's just really cool. But it's actually a lot simpler than it looks. So first part here is the redstone decoder selector panel thing that we showed over there, and this time it goes into pistons with cauldrons on them. So if we put a book on here, it will be on page 1, and now the first piston is extended and this is activated. So now if we flip to page 3, this piston will activate, and now this repeater is activated, and we can go back and forth and do whatever. But now we have this green line of concrete, and basically what that does is when you push this button, which is like the confirmation button, I guess, it will run over here into this line of dust, and all these pistons will extend and retract, and the pulse will go through the blocks into the red circuit, which is our combination lock system. So how the combination lock system works, let's say we go onto page 11, so let's go to page 11. We go onto page 11, this is activated, we push the button, the sand will go up, and we go through here, and it'll activate this torch on the back, and this piston over here will extend because this torch will turn on, and this will extend, and let's say we extend this, and this gets a block update. The piston stays extended because it's budded by this block powered above it. And now this repeater is now ready to bud this piston whenever it extends. So let's say we enter the, is it a 2 or a 6? We enter the 2, it'll activate this torch over here. This activates, we put the 6 again, this activates, and finally we activate the 11. And that goes through into our hipster door and into our lamp. And now how it resets, really simple. If we take the book off, what it does is this comparator will be turned off, this torch will now turn on, and it will go through this yellow thing over here up to this torch. This torch will turn off, and all these pistons will retract because there's now nothing budding them anymore. So if we just take the book over here, and as you can see, all those pistons retract because this torch is turned off. So that is basically it. That is all I've made with the Lectern so far. Maybe I'll make more things once I come up with more ideas, and maybe I'll make a tutorial on this. And in fact, this thing is expandable. You can make as many numbers as you want. But anyways, that is the Lectern. Yay. I hope there's more 1.14 redstone stuff. Anyways, knowledge, good books. Goodbye.